Welcome to this week's Celtic Chalk Talk. We're on every Monday, and we talk about the Celtics for the week and some thoughts on the Celtics. And this will go on throughout the season. My name's Steve Purciello, lifelong Celtic fan. Going back to Bill Russell, a long time ago, I can remember things very well. My favorite season was the '69 champions when they came back and beat the Lakers, and they had no right winning, and that was the last of the Russell titles. He retired right after. This week, though, we're going to talk about the Celtics and what's going on. What a great week it was. It just couldn't get better. For the first game of the week, they played the New York Knicks. And Boston looked in trouble as the Knicks came out and shot them out of the gym early. It was a 14-2 game early. Boston was trailing. And as a fan, I'm thinking, we're just not that good to compete with them. Boy, was I wrong. Second quarter, it became the Jalen Brown show. He went off. Yeah, I think he had 20 or so in that quarter. Boston going from down by 12. They were winning by, I think, 6 at half, and they took over. A couple positives from the game, and there were positives. Hugo Gonzalez, he came in, and he guarded Karl Anthony Towns. Now, think of how crazy that is. Hugo's 6'6", Karl Anthony Towns is 7. He held his own. In fact, he frustrated Towns, which is just fascinating because they were able to do this and get away with it. The Jordan Walsh played another one of his good games. Minot, who has got a good knack for making a three, he can shoot the three, played well, and they just overwhelmed the Knicks. It was just a very big surprise to me because the Knicks were a good team, although they struggle on the road. One other thing I saw in the game was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has killed the Celtics. Every time he gets in the paint, he has always scored against them. In this game, it was fascinating to watch because in this game, Brunson got into the paint. I don't know if he got snaked. Boston defended well with him, but he would kick the ball out. I've never seen that from him. And it was really interesting to watch. He didn't have a great game either. He didn't shoot well. I credit a lot of that to Boston's defense. I believe he was 5 for 19 from the floor, which is not a Jalen Brunson night. I want to think it's their defense. A Knick fan might say it's Jalen had a bad night. Whatever way you want to look at it, he got shut down pretty well. After that win, Boston went and played Washington. There's not a lot to say. It was just a beatdown. Jalen Brown didn't play that game, but Boston won by 40. Walsh, again, great on defense, makes some key plays. They're plays that, if you're playing, when a guy makes these plays, it's a spark and gets you pumped up and wanting to play better. Cade and White, they all played well. The thing is, Washington has no defense, and they play less defense when they get behind me. So Boston just did what they wanted, just scored continuously, and really just ran them right out of the gym. Now in a back-to-back for both the Lakers and the Celtics, both teams came back the next night. Now, the Lakers won a tough game against Toronto. Boston had the easy game with Washington. JB not playing against Washington, so he was rested. Now the Lakers came in. LeBron sat in the back-to-back, and Luka, his wife, was pregnant, so he was away from the team. His wife was giving birth, actually, and he wasn't there either. But now the Celtics gave them the beatdown. They really played well. They shot 53% from three. They were just great. And what was interesting, Jalen Brown, 38 and 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 30 points. Great game. Banged away a couple of threes in the third. That really helped. But what was interesting, when the Lakers cut it to 15, Boston stood right up to them, got a little not nervous, but you're saying, oh, God, here we go again. Last year we would ball games like this. No, Boston stood tough and held on. And that was something that would go on a few times. Now, balanced scoring, yes. Walsh with 17, White 19, Pritchard 15, behind me. So they really gave them a beat down, the Lakers. And that's in a back-to-back. Saturday was a day off. Sunday we played again. We played Toronto. It's 3 and 4 nights. 3 games in 4 nights. Tough thing to do in the NBA. You wouldn't know it. Boston got off to a 23-point lead in the third quarter and really was playing well. And it looked like they were going to put this one away easy. No, Toronto made a strong run. In fact, took a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. So they cut that 23 points in about 10 minutes. They cut that lead, and they had a 1-point lead. The biggest take of this was how Boston responded. And Boston responded well to win the game. Derrick White made some great big-time threes. Pritchard hit a big one. Jalen Brown stood steady and continually, I believe he had 30, but just continually throughout the game kept the team going. Another, just a great win. Boston moved ahead of Toronto in the standings. I believe they're third or fourth, and it's just looking better and better. Now, it's a great time to be a Celtic fan. If you're a Celtic fan, you're surprised. You thought this kind of year couldn't happen. The Celtics came into the year, lost JT, a lot of trouble. They picked up Anthony Simons. They had to trade all their big men and everybody else. And it's worked out really well. It's a surprise to a lot of people. All the questions Boston came into the year with, most if not all, are positives. Let's think about it. You got Kata. Kata is playing better ball than we ever imagined. And he's holding his own with other centers, which is what you want out of the big because you have such good scoring from your guards. Hugo Gonzalez, a rookie, never played, makes mistakes all the time defensively, and you'll see Mazzulla pull him out of the game as he did yesterday when he does make a mistake. But he plays hard, he makes things happen on the court, and he can guard anybody, and he's a good defender. Josh Minot took him from Minnesota, and boy, he can play. He can flat out play, and he can shoot. He's surprised a lot of people with his ability to play three. And they have been using him as a small ball five, and he's done quite well in that role. He assumes the role because I guess Boston wasn't happy with Garza, and I understand he's not a good defender. And Tillman is Tillman. So they've used him in a small ball game, and when Kata comes out, although Kata did play 33 minutes, which I believe is yesterday, so I believe that's the highest of the minutes he's played this year. But Minot has been the bench guy. Now you start thinking about this. What do you do with Anthony Simmons with all the good things? He's a great player to have off the bench. Not at $27 million, but a great player to have off the bench. Because he's a microwave. He can heat up and shoot at any time, keep it going for you. He did hit a couple baskets against Toronto yesterday to help. My sense would be if you keep him, you got to hope that he'll take like 12 to 15 million. If that happens, it'll work because don't forget, Kata, Walsh have one more year of and so's Minot, one more year of a contract. They're going to get raises if you're going to keep him. And don't forget, you got Tatum also. He's getting paid, of course. We're not talking about money. It will cut into the minutes of Walsh and Ugo and Minot and everybody else. So you got some decisions with Simons there. And I think it would depend on his ability to take the money. He looks happy on the team, and that's a positive. We'll see what happens. The other interesting thing with Boston, last year and the years before, whenever things got tough, that Boston would fold when a team made a comeback against them. They don't do that. Yesterday against Toronto, they stood right up to them and played well. Against the Knicks Tuesday night, the Knicks went from 12 to 3 and a 12-point deficit to 3-point deficit in no time. Boston came right back at them and made some big baskets down the stretch to put the game away. These are things that they didn't show before. And those are great things to see. It's 5 in a row. We're all shocked. I wouldn't think about winning the division or anything. Give it time, couple months, and we'll talk about that. But it's been fun because they play so hard. The last thing I want to say, you've got to sit there when you watch this team. You got to feel Joe Mazzulla does a great job. Everybody can find fault with a coach, and we can find fault with Joe, but he's great. He's done a great job with this team. The other thing that you have to just keep in mind, Brad Stevens, what a GM. We're lucky to have him. He got rid of the players to get us under the second apron. He got Simons back. A couple of years ago, he picked up a guy by the name of Kata. Wasn't even supposed to make the team. Wayne Gabriel was the guy they picked up, and he was supposed to be the big. Kata outplayed him in the preseason, became part of the team, I think, and then he got a 4-year contract. So he's got 2 more years on his contract. For 2 years, they brought him along. Now he holds his own every night. So that's a good move. Josh Minot. What a great pickup. What a great energy player. good player. Another, just a positive. Hugo, that's a 28th pick in the first round, getting minutes as a rookie. It's impressive, especially on a decent team as a rookie, getting minutes. Those are people and things that are really interesting. The last one is Jordan Walsh. Wow. If someone told you this guy would become a borderline star defensively, he's good. He's good. You would have been saying, no way. You're crazy. He is. He is. Let's see if it continues. And the thing that surprised me, when he first got to Boston, he couldn't shoot. He holds his own shooting a three, which is very important because teams will load up on the other four guys and allow him to take his shots, which they've been doing. And Walsh has hurt him because he's made those shots. So all these things combined, Brad Stevens is the one who orchestrated and brought these people in. He deserves a ton of credit. Let's hope it continues. That's it for now. We'll be back again next week, and we'll continue with this Celtic Chalk Talk. Please don't be afraid to subscribe, and don't be afraid to listen. Every Monday we'll be there. We'll be in the Peach Basket website, or you can find our podcasts on YouTube as well. So please continue to listen, and thank you for your time.